So good afternoon, and thank you for coming. My name is Zoya, and this is Josie Burton, and today we're going to talk to you about Methane Hub. But before we start, let's get into the contents. So first of all, we're going to tell you about the problem, what our business actually entails, its unique value, marketing strategies, financial management, and who we're currently talking to.
Now imagine that you're in rural Haiti, in a tent village. Your house is one room and is constructed with scrap metal. This meal in front of you is a staple, composed of beans, rice, and plantains. The fuel cost of this meal is 60 cents, but the underlying cost is that you and the person who made it suffer of indoor air pollution. Indoor air pollution results in 4.3 million premature deaths a year. That's more than malaria, tuberculosis, and AIDS combined. Other problems in this rural community is there's a lack of employment opportunities, infrastructure development, and commercial activity, and this increases the rural dependence on charcoal, which is used to make this meal. Methane Hub is the solution. What we do, we're a social enterprise that provides a cheaper, cleaner options. We are creating employment, affordability, proximity, and we're using waste that would otherwise end up in Haiti's rivers and ocean. This waste is put into a digester, where bacteria decomposes it and methane is produced as a result. This methane is put into a holding tank, where then it is then sold to the community, also through a leasing stove and tank program service. So our vision is to establish a responsible world which uses sustainable methods that utilize resources for alternate energy. What makes us unique? We've identified the niche in the market. The technology is here, and we're assembling it and we're putting it together and directing it to one specific issue. Our solution, through thorough research, integrates internal, external, and cultural tactics used by successful social enterprises around the world, including Drishti, the innovative kiosk design maker. We provide a constant and reliable service to everybody. We're creating self-sustainability, and our digester and kiosk will be stationed locally within the community for easy access.
So what's our marketing plan? Our target customers include women and girls who cook in tent villages of Haiti. What we're going to do is we're going to use word of mouth and door-to-door promotion. We'll go out to households telling them how Methane Hub is a better, cheaper, and safer option. We're also going to be using selling points that involve their children's health, their own health, the design of tanks and stoves, as well as how their households are going to be smoke-free. Another thing is that as a dynamic enterprise, we're going to be using the cultural and marketing trends to get an idea of how we need to adjust our marketing strategies. For future, we are going to decrease door-to-door promotion, and we are going to put up advertisements on communal walls, which is kind of like the equivalent of a US billboard, just like in paintings. So let's talk numbers. Currently, people in Haiti, they use 44 cents or $1 for every meal. What we're going to do is we're going to charge them 15 cents for a methane refill, 10 cents for stove, and 5 cents for a methane tank. This is going to give us a combined revenue of 30 cents per product. Our cash flow is, as you can see, going to be going in the first year. After that, it's $30,870, which is our initial revenue. After deducting all major costs, we're going to have about $2,054 left at the end. This is going to give us just enough money to maybe expand, order more inventory, or whatever the situation calls for. Our growth calculations are going to be done through inventory turnover ratio and marginal revenue, which is going to give us an idea of how our product is doing.
Here's a list of our contacts. Right now, we're connecting with Oxfam, and we've scheduled a meeting in March in Washington, D.C. with them. Tom Osbeck is a crucial contact for us in Haiti because he provides on-the-ground connections to implement our idea. Joe Steensma and Sam Spann are academics who have done research in Haiti and give us feedback on the legitimacy of our idea. Echo is an innovative design maker who helps with social enterprises and nonprofits to design the right prototype for their distribution. Solar Cities is the first prototype development company that made the biodigester that we're looking into. We're in close contact with them. At the end, starting in May, we're going to go do a scouting mission where we are going to investigate on the ground what we're going to do and how we're going to implement our strategies.
So Methane Hub is based on the concept of corporate social responsibility. We're going to be looking at environment, we're going to be looking at society, and we're going to be looking at profit. We've given you a solution, not an idea, and it's your choice whether you want to work with us. Thank you.
Guess I'll jump in. When we talk about numbers, we look at your numbers,
Yeah.
those seem to capture like an ongoing year, but what are our costs for startup to acquire the first 30 tanks we need, the filling station, the plant, all those things?
Right. So the reason why we actually didn't include our startup costs is, like we mentioned, that we have a meeting with Oxfam in Washington, D.C. And I have like good connections in Oxfam, and after talking, we have kind of like figured out a way to get tanks and stoves, everything donated to us. We'll be using Oxfam, and they're going to be helping us with getting more contacts or getting more information. So basically, it's like, if we do it ourselves, it's actually going to be, the initial cost is going to be about $17,000 to $18,000, which is actually pretty expensive, and we're working really hard to avoid that, because that doesn't leave us much leeway. So the point of the pilot study is that's going to give us a much better idea of, because we have a community in sight, but once we get there, we're going to have a good idea of how many we need to get from Oxfam, how we're going to work through the logistics, and that's why we're mainly focusing on building contacts. And we didn't really include the financials, because honestly, at this point, they're estimates. We have a contingency, but we'll be 100% sure after we talk to Oxfam. So yeah.
Can you explain a little bit more your pricing structure? What does that actually mean?
So the thing is that the point of this is that we're going to be leasing out stoves as well as meal-sized propane tanks. Inside those propane tanks is going to be methane that's just enough for one meal, which means that even if they pay off the stoves as well as the tanks, they're still going to have to keep coming back for methane refills. The reason why we structured it is like 30 cents below is that so we have sustainability, which means they'll have to keep coming back. But at the same time, it's a lot more affordable for them to, rather than use 44 cents or $1 per chocolate per meal, they'll be saving themselves like more than 10 cents.
And one thing I want to add really fast, I went down to Haiti 2 years ago, and I've been doing work there every summer since. And one thing that I've noticed is Haitian families work day by day. They don't buy months' supplies of anything. Their foundation is built up from sandbags. It is not something that, it's important for them to structure their money so that they can just survive to the next day. That's why we're doing the meal size, so that when in the leasing, so that it provides that sustainable and that base, so that they are secure with what our processes are, and we're transparent in what our social good is for the community.
What would be the cost to a family that wants to switch to this? I mean, is there an initial cost that they have to pay?
No.
Okay, so it's just
We'll let them know that, okay, so basically at the end of like, after 200 meals or so, they're going to have to, already they'll have paid off their stove and tanks. After that point, they're just going to keep coming back for methane refills. So once we tell them that, okay, in the long run, it's going to be even cheaper for you guys, because the stove cost and everything is already gone. So that's just another incentive for them to actually switch over, and we don't have like an initial cost, because this is like for the community. It's not about money. It's just good to be sustainable. So.
How will you handle a situation where they're not making their payments?
So with regards to them not making their payments, we can like actually talk to them and try to figure out why they're not making their payments. If they're not, with regards to the stove and the tanks, then we're going to have to cut off their methane refill, because that's important. The problem in Haiti is that the people there, because I'm from a rural community myself, I'm from Mansehra in Pakistan, which is actually pretty similar to Haiti. So that's just like, I know what it's like that people stop paying. So the best way to do that is honestly cut off their, that's another reason for the refill, one size. Yeah, so yeah.
Thank you.